The first law in Basic Physics 101 says that an object at rest will stay at rest. Your soccer ball won't move unless you kick it. The second law says that acceleration occurs when a force acts on mass, so the harder you kick the ball, the faster it flies. The larger the ball, the harder you must kick. And the third law, and perhaps the most famous, states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. When you kick your soccer ball, it goes flying, but your body still feels the force of the kick. Thanks, mathlete Sir Isaac Newton. So explain these videos then. What goes up doesn't always come down. And the 15 craziest things that defy the laws of physics. Real-life Spider-Man. This guy must have climbing in his genes. His movements and skill are like that of the fictional superhero Spider-Man. All he needs are some web shooters, and this guy could easily pull off the stunt. The legendary climbing man is said to be, by locals, a reincarnated version of a local monkey that hung around the nearby temple. It climbed the very same places that he does today. He can clear nearly completely smooth cliffs, and all without the aid of any sort of safety mechanism. In some of his incredible stunts, you'd almost be mistaken that he's glued or somehow adhered to the wall. The 22-year-old Indian native who lives in the southern state of Karnataka first discovered his astonishing climbing ability a handful of years ago while scaling bamboo scaffolding often used in the Indian subcontinent. He's been recorded climbing astounding heights up to 300 feet tall, all without a safety harness and onlookers observing from below. When it comes to climbing, this guy's the king. He taught himself the skill after, for years, watching monkeys climb trees and buildings, noting their exact placement of limbs. After watching a few of his favorite superhero films and action flicks, he decided to take his skill to the next level and adopt some of the impossibilities in those fictional worlds. Turns out not to be so fictional after all. Fasten your seatbelts, because it's time for today's sweet topic. One of the coolest aspects to emerge from ancient Arabian tales are the iconic magic flying carpet moments. We're all familiar with magic carpets and their ability to fly smoothly and silently all over and up to the skies while the two main characters sing a song and fall in love, like in Disney's Aladdin. Flying carpets are not, however, a Disney invention. The magic carpet in that movie was based on actual stories of levitating rugs from ancient Arabian texts. Legends of the flying textile were an important part of many Middle Eastern folktales that were eventually expanded in Arabia, North Africa, Turkey, Greece, Persia, India, and even Jewish tales. So really, who hasn't imagined this moment of being able to fly using a simple rug? It's a tale as old as time, really. And the person riding this so-called magic carpet doesn't look nearly thrilled enough. We suggest laying back, getting in a comfortable position, and enjoying the ride. Physics doesn't apply here, but cool does. What does your magic carpet ride fantasy look like? Tell us everything you know in the comments below and use the hashtag #SweetTopic. Daredevil ibex goats. When it comes to mountain climbers, these ibex are the true masters of terrain. Take a look at their incredible balance as they graze the mountainside for food. There are dozens of them standing on near fully vertical walls. These goats are so skilled at climbing that they can even climb the smooth walls of the Singino Dam in Atrona Valley Natural Park. The water trying to get through the dam produces mineral salts. This is a gold mine for these goats, and they constantly eat the mineral salt of the dam. This is a win-win situation for both humans and goats. The goats have a safe place to graze, and humans don't have to perform specific preventative maintenance to ensure the water doesn't come bursting through. Even baby ibex can scale these challenging landscapes. The dam became an internet sensation and tourist destination due to the remarkable creatures that continually scale its dangerous walls. A video shared by the BBC's Forces of Nature has been viewed hundreds of millions of times. According to local officials, the dam is unremarkable without the ibex. Vertical driving. In certain places around the US, they host what's called a crawl fest. With the motor enthusiast in mind and the natural beauty of the surrounding areas, what's not to like about these incredible driving stunts? From SUVs to dirt buggies, you can dream up any type of vehicle, and odds are they've attempted a climb at least once. But each trip wasn't necessarily a success. The most famous vertical driving paths can be found in Utah. where about 320 registered vehicles a year try to do the climb. The roads are split amongst 11 different trails, some really difficult and some for the beginner. Some of the best drivers in the world often kick off the event with their incredible driving skills. To build that hype factor and encourage more adventurers to try out the drive, anything from dirt racing to near 90-degree vertical vehicle climbs are available to challenge. There's plenty here to get that adrenaline racing. Crawl is not exaggerated when it comes to driving these vertical cliffs. While they attempt to scale seemingly unbeatable cliff sides, they often crawl their way up the side using their massive tires to find grips like you would climb a mountain with your hands. Shape-shifting UFO. June 2021, as airlines were opening back up for travelers from a 2-year-long hiatus, one passenger caught this on camera. After 2 years of no flights and finally getting back into a plane, passengers witnessed this scary stuff. What the heck is going on? It's clearly floating in the sky but continually shifts shape from flat, oblong disc to long, tube-like cylinder. Humans do not have the technology to create a vehicle of such fluidity. Could it be another UFO sighting? They seem to be becoming more prevalent since the government released the UFO files to the world to scan. Some experts aren't convinced and say it's simply light refracting in strange patterns thanks to a rogue cloud of gas. Others say it's simply the reflection of the sun off the plane's window. So, keep your eyes peeled for strange behavior in the sky. You might just encounter a UFO yourself one of these days. Modern Shaolin warrior. Shaolin monks are some of the fiercest and disciplined warriors to ever grace the face of the earth. Though their numbers have greatly suffered, their technique has only grown more complex and effective. The modern-day Shaolin warrior is no less fierce than their predecessors. Just look at the poise and warrior spirit this man embodies to accomplish all these incredible feats. If you didn't have that type of personality and wanted to be a Shaolin, odds are you wouldn't make it very far. Shaolin is said to have a mystical technique that allows them to channel energy from one part of their body to another, making it harder and denser than the rest. This essentially allows Shaolin to create armor where there seemingly is none. From lying across sharp spears to breaking bricks in half with his bare hands, the results are nothing short of breathtaking. If you want, you can train with these fantastic warriors and they'll teach you the basics of Shaolin mastery. However, if you want to do the things like in this footage, you might have to dedicate your life to the art, like this modern master has. Baseball doppelgangers. What would you do if you encountered your doppelganger and not only did they look exactly like you, but they also chose the same profession and had the same last name as you? It might seem like 1,000,000 to 1 odds, but here it is in reality. Brady Feigl and Brady Feigl. No, that's not an error. Both play as pitchers in minor league baseball. The crazy thing is their families are not related. The coincidences are almost too much to believe. The same looks, sure. The same name, a little rarer, but still easily feasible. All three of them combined, you got one heck of a rare occurrence. Both stand at 6'4", have fiery red hair, they're bearded, wear glasses, and have had the same injury, same operation, and same doctor all within their lifetime. The list of similarities is nothing short of uncanny. How could all these attributes be precisely the same? It seems there are more people out there like us than we first thought. Invisible Box Challenge. Over the past few years, several trends have gone viral. There was the Ice Bucket Challenge, the Mannequin Challenge, planking, and many more. The newest of trends in a long line of them is the Invisible Box Challenge. Ever heard of it? You're in for a treat. First, you tell the observers that there's a box, thereby patting the air in front of you, making it look like it's coming into contact with invisible material. Then you place one foot up on the box and kick off with the other. When done right, the results are astounding. It really looks like these people are stepping up on boxes. It only took one video to get the trend started. Now there are thousands. It may look easy, but it isn't. Try for yourself and put that stuff online. You might find your video on the Supreme someday. Possessed water bottle. That water bottle really didn't want to be on the ground. After accidental maneuvering of bottle sent one crashing to the floor, it somehow burst open. It propelled itself back up to its original place. We're talking right back to where it was before to begin with. This crazy occurrence was captured by security camera footage in a local convenience store. The stocking man who accidentally knocked over the bottle notices the water spill and eventually comes back to clean up the mess. Still, the fact is, it was all captured on camera, and it makes this possibly a once-in-a-lifetime sighting. Even people trying to replicate the crazy occurrence can't do it. This just falls into one of those chaos theory occurrences. If it can happen, eventually it will. Magnetic hill. This crazy magnetic hill in India exhibits natural magnetic fluctuations that have affected electronics in the above-ground world. Even more troubling, experts have no idea what's causing the shifts in magnetism. Even aircraft are forced to divert to higher altitudes when passing over the area to ensure the magnetic fields don't disturb their precise instruments. The magnetic forces at play here have increased in strength over the past few years. Though they can't confirm, the leading hypothesis states that as the Earth's magnetic poles shift, the magnetic forces tied to them are bound to do strange things that we don't understand. A complete polarity shift of the poles would be devastating for the planet. However, the day the poles shift, the world will have much bigger things to worry about. A part of the Cargo Highway, this road attracts stationary vehicles upwards. When left with the engine off, a car can roll up at a speed of up to 40 miles per hour. Mystery muons. A recent experiment has broken the known laws of physics, hinting at a new, mysterious force to blame for creating the universe. I guess what makes laws just as relative to understanding as everything else. The tiny particle in question has been dubbed a muon and has been misbehaving as of late. These particles are deviating from what the laws of physics suggest. In turn, scientists are starting to realize that their playbook of laws is missing some crucial information. When you think of a muon, think of a fat electron. They have a negative charge but are a whopping 207 times heavier than electrons. In part to their charge and a property known as spin, they act like tiny magnets. When muons are immersed in another magnetic field, they experience an infinitesimal wobble. The key here is, how much wobble should they have? According to scientists, the difference is substantial enough that many are convinced particles or forces we haven't yet discovered are still at play here. Master of balance. It would take a lifetime of study to accomplish what this guy has. He can balance anything, anywhere, anytime. His incredible stunts have been stunning millions of internet viewers, and he's skyrocketing into internet stardom. According to the artist, it's a hobby that requires God-level patience. The high chances of failure with every project often deter most people from even getting started. In fact, only about 20% of projects actually turn out the way he wants. When they do, they're dazzling works of art, not to mention the remarkable ability to balance the seemingly unbalanceable. He says every time he sees an object, his mind begins racing to know where its perfect balance point is. To exemplify the patience required, one of his smaller projects that included smaller objects took him 10 hours to complete. Can you imagine trying to get something to balance for 10 hours straight? No wonder he's one of the few people in the world who can accomplish such tasks. This master has been practicing for 20 years and enjoys trying even when he fails. Helicopter glitches out. It seems this matrix of a world we live in has been glitching out repeatedly. For some reason, it's always objects or creatures in the sky that get the treatment. Could it be a high atmosphere mirage? Not likely. If this was the case, we would have seen these glitches many years before. Maybe we have, and we just haven't had the capability of recording it all the time like we do now. Either way, the footage is as bizarre as they come. Some even claim it as proof of the simulation theory. That is, that everyone and everything in existence is highly artificially intelligent. If you aren't sure about all that, just take a look at this footage of a copter frozen in the air. I mean, that kind of footage would be tough to fake, considering those blades are spinning so fast. Are they spinning so fast that the camera can't pick up on the movement? You can literally hear the whipping of helicopter blades in the background, but you can't deny those babies are standing still. It's ironic because that chopper is a rescue chopper and it might have needed rescuing themselves. Levitating tinfoil. Is there really magic at work here? Are there some crazy invisible forces at play? Technically, neither is accurate, and science once again comes in to explain the unexplainable. What you can't see in the footage is what's lying at the bottom of that tank. It's sulfur hexafluoride, and it's a relatively non-reactive gas with a density of about 5 times that of air. It's also transparent. When he dips the beaker into the air and pours it into the tinfoil, it sinks to the bottom. In actuality, he picked up some of the gas and poured it into the tinfoil. The process works the same way that a boat can float on water, and thus sinks when it takes in more density than the surface below. Because sound travels more slowly through the gas than the air, if you breathe it into the lungs, it causes the vocal cords to vibrate at a lower frequency than they do in the air. In essence, if you inhale this gas, it'll produce the opposite effect of the iconic high-pitched altering of helium. Hydrophobia. Researchers at the University of Rochester have made a breakthrough. Using lasers, they managed to transform metals into extremely water-repellent or super hydrophobic materials without the need for the temporary coatings you see in today's many waterproofing technologies. This could change the manufacturing and goods of the future significantly. Water-repellent materials are desirable for many applications such as rust prevention, anti-icing, or even sanitation. Most hydrophobic materials rely on chemical coatings and wear with time and use. The laser alters the atomic level of these metals, allowing for it to repel water without the need for any coating. There's no wear or tear on use because this device itself has been transformed to repel water. Just imagine when this technology hits our phones and other electronics. Water damage may soon be a thing of the past with this incredible invention. According to the team that designed it, it's so water repellent that water genuinely bounces off the material. It basically can't get wet. As the water bounces off the super hydrophobic surfaces, it also collects dust particles. It takes them along for the ride, making it an excellent method for cleaning as well. The applications for this new tech are unlimited. Basically anything that was metal and needed to avoid water won't be an issue any longer. Cairo floating stones. This photo of floating rocks has been shared thousands of times in multiple posts on Facebook around the globe, which claims it shows stones tied up by the Prophet Muhammad 1400 years ago. The claim is a lie. In actuality, the sculpture was created by an Egyptian artist for Cairo International Airport in 2008. The artist responsible for the structure died in 2010, but you can find his works all over the country in museums and art galleries to this day. The million-dollar question you're all probably asking yourself is, how did the artist manage to dangle the stones in such a fashion? Though that rope appears to be a rope, it's actually an iron sieve wrapped in a cloth to give off the appearance of rope. The iron bar actually runs through the entire sculpture. Starting from within the ground as the foundation, the bar protrudes into the bottom rock, appearing as if it's balancing. The bar continues through the rope and diverts in a Y shape to hold the floating rock. Either way, it's for reasons like this that the art can be so magical. Scientists believe they understood the laws of physics. That isn't to say they're missing everything. Still, they're indeed missing some vital ingredients that make the universe spin. It's clear that as technology continues to advance, so does our understanding and capability of discovery. Time itself is a testament to that. Try to talk to a medieval person about gravity and see what they have to say about the whole thing. If you mention science, you might just get tossed into a cell for witchcraft. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to get all our content delivered right to your inbox.